the Voice and the Pen podcast. Emily and I are really stoked today to be in the studio with the Churchyard Ghost. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
And just so that we get this all straight, like we talked about this before the show, but we're going to call you by your names, not Mr. Ghost, etc., but Mr. Yard and all the things.
I'm
But
Mr.
it's
Yard.
Andrew.
We've renamed them.
We've renamed you
Yeah.
already. We already took control of the band. No, I'm just kidding. So tell us all your names, not just for us, but also for the audience.
Andrew.
My name's John.
My name's Paul.
All right. And how long have y'all been playing music together?
A couple months.
Yeah, probably like
A year.
4 or 5 months, maybe.
Yeah.
When we've actually been playing, like usually it's just getting together and sitting on some instruments, but like actual practice and working, yeah, probably like 4 or 5 months since we started the single.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
And how
Was
did
that
you guys
September?
get together on this? Like, why did you decide that playing music together felt like a good idea or should be something to do? How did this meeting, how did you guys become the Churchyard Ghost, right? Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
We kind of like originally I had written this Halloween single, and I had the idea to bring on some more people. We also worked together
Yeah.
prior
Mhm.
to this,
Oh,
so
okay.
we kind of met each other like doing all that stuff, and this was the Halloween single, and I was like, "Hey, John, come play," and then Paul the same thing, and we just
All
kind of
just tagged along.
yeah.
I just
We
showed
haven't
up
been
there.
able to shake
I
them.
heard
since.
there was
Yeah,
free
we're-
food, so
We're
I was
tried our
like-
best. It's a struggle, but
And we
yeah,
should say
so-
too, Andrew's been recording under the name Churchyard Ghost for
yeah,
quite
it's
years
some time,
now.
2
So
or 3 years, something like that.
yeah, we're a bunch of John and Paul come latelys.
you know, they're good omens for that in the music industry. I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, yeah.
All working together on music. So, are you from Wilmington? All y'all not from Wilmington? Like, how does that shake out too?
Andrew he's a native.
I'm
I
from
think.
Wilmington.
Yeah.
Yeah, born
You're
and
the
raised.
second one that's from Wilmington we've had on the podcast.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Sam was the first.
Sam was the first.
Yeah, I'm from North Carolina generally. Grew up in Raleigh, but been here for about 12 years.
I'm pretty
Nice.
much from Charlotte. I grew up around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
North
Carolina
Carolina,
band,
yeah,
the
North
Churchyard
Carolina.
Ghost.
There you go. All from
And
the
you're
Carolinas.
working on music together. You're playing gigs in town.
Yeah.
How does the writing process unfold for y'all? Is it something that you collaborate on? Is like Andrew, are you in charge of the lyrics, or other people contribute? How does that all work? What's your function?
Yeah, so generally I do the lyrics, but also it's like we'll have moments, like we actually just had a moment like this the other day where we'll all be kind of sitting there or whatever, and then we'll be playing the song, and then somebody else will end it with a different lyric that worked better than what I wrote, and then I'm like, let's do that instead because it sounds so much better. It's very, like, I always try to keep it like pretty open as far as the creativity goes, because I mean, like, we do have a specific sound that we're kind of like, I feel like all agree on, that we're trying to like get to, but we can, I feel like we all have like a pretty wide creativity like area, and I feel like we can all like do kind of what we want and figure out what we want to do without like stepping on anyone's toes, because that's a big thing with like being in a band. It's just like, I feel like every time I've been in a band, it's like, well, you like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like that, and then
Yeah.
it's like kind of weird, especially with the original music. Sorry.
It's really easy to collaborate when Andrew brings in such great material from the
Yeah.
outset. Like there's already like a really beautiful, solid foundation of good stuff there, and Paul and I just try to add, whatever we can to it, and
Yeah.
put our own thumbprint on it, I guess, and
It's changed everything, like having them there, because it's like I used to go for like this. It's the sound that I always wanted to do, and it was just like the big band stuff with like a drummer and a big full sound. But then it was like when we all got together, and then it's just like we're pretty good friends.
Yeah,
Like-
it makes it easy.
So
I
it's
think
just
that's how
super
you
easy.
know that you're gonna work as a band, is that you're good friends,
Oh, yeah.
and then like from the beginning you work well creatively, and you like what the other person
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
throws out there.
Yeah.
Because if you don't at all, you're like, okay, maybe this isn't like the right partnership.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like sometimes people want to be in the band for the sake of being in a band.
Yeah.
And then you're in the band and you're like,
I'm
well,
trapped. with these guys.
okay,
Let
I've
me out
learned a
of here.
lot from this, but maybe this is not exactly the way that I want to be in a band. But speaking of the sound and the percussion, listening to you all during sound check, there's definitely like your percussion has definitely got that rolling big band feel to it. I think
Thank
it's
you.
a great way to describe it. And so if that, that being the goal is kind of incorporating that into what you're doing, what are some of your influences? Who are some of the folks that really inform you all as a band, but also you as individual players?
Well, since we brought up percussion, I've always tried to be a jazz drummer, and jazz and blues are really kind of the two biggest influences in my, I guess, creative constellation. And of course, the big band drummers like Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich is one of my all-time favorites. But then even moving more towards like more contemporary guys. I mean, not that Keith Moon is a contemporary, but he's I guess newer than Buddy Rich. But he's always I've loved his energy, the energy that he's brought. And then guys like Nate Smith, who plays with Fearless Flyers, really great chops. Carter Beaufort, actually, who's drummer for Dave Matthews Band. He's got some really, really cool stuff that he does. There's just so many great players out there now and it's never been easier to find them. With the internet out there, we can just find stuff that we might not have had the chance to listen to before, and so it's cool to be able to do that. But yeah, I'd say the old jazz players, then kind of the new, more modern rock players are kind of where I come from with my approach to my instrument.
Yeah. I have also a lot of jazz influences.
We play in a jazz band.
Yeah, we play in a jazz. Yeah, fully enough. A lot of like the
Hey, that's not what this is about.
there's a lot
about
of
the
the
ghost.
contemporary guitar players like this isn't really jazz, but maybe jazz influence. Krungbin, Mark Spear of Krungbin is like a big influence of mine. Yeah, I really like
so
his
good.
music. And then Mansur Brown, who's like a UK based jazz artist. His stuff is really good. Some not guitarists too. I look to a lot of like older horn players, obviously Miles Davis and like John Coltrane and stuff for some like the more out there stuff. I really get into that, but also just the greats like Jimmy Page and like Django Reinhardt and just the great guitar players. Because Andrew had such a clear vision going in that it was like, okay, I know what I need to sound like to really make this sound good.
Yeah, so it brings me makes me wonder, what was the vision? Like, how did you articulate that? How did you communicate that?
It was it started with the name. I made the name just to kind of think up something that I wanted, like the style, the sound, everything revolves around that name. So like anytime I write anything, I'm basing it off of like, what would this person that I've essentially created think, or how would this person live? You know what I mean? It's like, it's all like based off of that. But before that, I was just folk and like Bob Dylan, Woody Guthrie, a lot of like old folk singer-songwriter stuff. I was really into that. Then it shifted into blues, heavily blues, and a little bit of jazz here and there. More so the jazz now because of these guys, honestly. Like I used to I really wasn't like super into jazz, but now it's like, oh, so fun. I love that.
Unavoidable.
Oh, it's so fun.
Sorry.
But
Got the
yeah,
bug.
honestly.
That's something I definitely notice is it's really cool that you talk about the character that you've created, because I think that opens up like how you write songs, like, because if you're always trying to write from your own experiences, I know for me, I'm like, it's hard to like just write from like everyday life all the time, so it's like if you have this person in your mind,
Yeah.
like it's a really cool way to write. And I've noticed, like you said, you had a single out like around Halloween. I've noticed that you do write songs that like you talk about like the Reaper and like the devil and like
Yeah.
a lot of them. I'm like, there's something behind that and
Yeah,
maybe that's the character. I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly. Yeah. And it's always like anytime I write, I go into it with that mindset. One, because I love the sound. I mean, I'm obsessed with that. Like, it's got like this just movement to it. Very minor.
Shuffle.
The skeleton shuffle. It's just got that like bop to it, and I really, really like that sound. And then with it was just something different. And then when I decided to do it that way, it was like, I was just like, oh, like I'm totally switching. And it kind of is nice too, because I get to keep it separate. Like I write about some pretty dark stuff sometimes, and it's like, okay, because it's like, oh, it's not me. I'm like a normal person. I
That's
gotta
just
hope
what
so.
he wants you to think.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think Steve Earle said that if you try and write purely out of your own experience, you'll run out of material relatively quickly.
Yeah.
And so then there are like these layers of extension of your own personality into things that you're exploring. Because even like for me, I think when I think about writing and describing another character, it's still another character limited by my perspective,
Right.
Because I can only see what I can see. Do you write prose as well? Does your lyrics evolve from prose at all, or there's just kind of two separate things for you?
Yeah, they're pretty much two separate. It's like like I said, anytime I go into it, I'm thinking like, this is what I want it to be about. This is kind of my area, and it usually starts with that first lyric. I always tell people, they're like, "How do you write, your songs?" And I'm like, "It's just that first lyric, and then that's the story." I just like build off of that. So,
And so then you bring a lyric or parts of lyrics and some general stuff, or do you bring a complete song to whatever time you all devote to working on new material? Because there's obviously the rehearsal part where you're like, let's fine tune this, but like, oh, here's some brand new stuff that we might spend 6 weeks figuring out, right?
I think it's
Usually
pretty much
a
always like
complete-
a brand new
Yeah,
song.
it's a
and it's
complete
like,
song,
here
but
you
like,
go.
but it's always open to our suggestions too, which is cool because Devil Dog, that's that one. Like we're
doing that one today.
Yeah. So there's like we had that suggestion of like, I forget who came up with it, but there's like a part in the verse where we throw in one measure of 3, because usually it's in 4, but then we just threw in one measure of 3, and it just like I think we did it on accident or
Yeah,
something.
and it was like, oh,
And
that's
we're like, oh,
yeah.
that was cool. Let's do that again.
Yeah.
And so now we just, and there's other like rhythmic things. Like there's one that we do like a drop on 2 for, and we do some other stuff like that. It's a little bit more syncopated, but
because we always like it to be really dynamic.
Mhm.
Like, and whenever we play, it's like, it's not just like listen to this song and then you like listen to the first, whatever, how long, and then it's like, okay, you get the gist of it. It's like, oh, there's changes, there's halftime, there's all this other kind of stuff that revolves into it or evolves into
even
it.
structure too. I think like we've had a say in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
I mean, like I said, I try to keep it pretty like whatever y'all want to do. I mean, because like again, it's like I'm so open to that creative like alley to figure things out. Because again, we all understand the sound. Like that's really not the issue. It's more of just like, oh, what can we put here? What can we do
Right.
here instead? And that kind of stuff. So
How can we improve on
Yeah.
the cool thing that you've already done?
And you can always be like, no, that's not quite it. Like,
yeah, I mean, some
You know.
and we're so our styles align so well. It's an immediate. That's not gonna work.
Mhm.
Like I think all of us are like, well, like let's
We can
try
all
this
feel it
instead.
when-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Either
so it kind of
jazz or
works out
different.
that way. Because again, like this music is super, it's got its own bluesy kind of feel to it, and that's just what we all like love, like absolutely love. We could sit and play the 12 bar for, hours,
And we do.
and we do. We sit and do nothing but the 12 bar blues.
Yeah.
But it's just such a good time. So
So what's next on the horizon recording wise for you all?
We're going to the studio next weekend actually
Yeah.
to lay these tracks down. We got a five track EP.
5 and then 2. Well, we're doing an album. We got 2 more that we just started,
Oh yeah, right.
and
7.
so that'll be 7. So we're gonna.
Are you
call-
recording that all in your home studio?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably do like a few songs. I think we're gonna do like the whole weekend, so we'll probably do like a few songs here or there. So.
Do you guys plan on doing any touring once you've like got an album out? As like kind of like what are some of your goals that you have
Oh,
for the music?
For sure, the touring would be awesome.
Yeah.
We would love to do that, but it's just kind of like reaching out to people and stuff like that, trying to figure all that stuff out. But
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna hit like a bunch of shows because we want to like promote it and stuff.
Definitely.
But yeah, so it could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll probably start local and then branch out. And
That'd be
I mean,
awesome.
we've got good connections. I mean, across the state for sure.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could definitely play Chapel Hill or Asheville or wherever like
Charlotte.
that. Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll probably start there and then see where that goes.
Bring the music to the people.
Right.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Speaking of which, you guys want to play some music?
Definitely.
Yeah, let's
All
do
right,
it.
awesome.
Time to hear
Thank
some
you.
songs.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We really
Absolutely.
enjoyed
Thanks for
It was a
having us.
pleasure.
chatting with you, getting to know you a little bit better, and
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you play and out and about,
Absolutely.
and can't wait to hear your music today.
Appreciate y'all having us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
time.
Thank you.
There is a place way down the river that you'll only know if you've been there, where that ball and chain won't get me down. 'Cause when she is gone, I can't be found. When I get lonely, and all I get lonely, you ask where I've been, dead on in. So if I am evil, please let me be. I ain't hurt a soul, at least one that I need. That sweet friend of mine holds all of my sins. I plan to meet her at Dead Bone Inn. So when I get lonely, and all I get lonely, oh, you ask where I've been, Dead Bone Inn. When I get lonely, and all I get lonely, oh, you ask where I've been. Well, Lord knows I've seen my days tossed in trouble and dipped in shame. Angels come but always go. Why this one stayed, I'll never know. But I'm sickened by just how it seems, so I push that angel away from me. Met up with her sister, spawn of hell. We go down to where she dwells. Oh, well, you know just how to pick them, and how to run them away. You got too much liquor in your system to be sleeping where that evil darling stays. Well, the next morning my back was aching. Devil dog burnt me like bacon. Grabbed my shoes, my coat, my hat, made like a rabbit, and I never looked back. But she caught me still the very next day in the same old clothes at the same damn place. Said, I got you now, brimstone or rain. You gon' pray and beg you didn't meet that dame. Oh, well, you know just how to pick on, oh yeah, how to run them away. You got too much liquor in your system to be sleeping where that evil darling stays. shreds, turn me inside out. The roof comes crashing, the walls hit the ground, and the angels, they are laughing 'cause they all know how. I know just how to pick 'em, oh yeah, how to run them away. I got too much liquor in my system to be sleeping where that evil darling stays. I've seen my days tossed in trouble and dipped in shame. Demons come and demons go, why this one follow? I don't know, I guess I know just how to pick 'em, oh, and how to run them away. Well, I got too much liquor in my system to be sleeping where that evil darling stays.